Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 3. This is for episode 6. It's called Red Dirt. And spoiler warning, as per usual, if you guys have not seen this episode yet, you might want to watch it before you watch my review. I'll be recapping it as well, too. So this was another really strong episode of Fear the Walking Dead. I felt episode 6. We're just getting set for next weekend's double mid-season finale, so very excited to see that and how that all kind of goes down. This one was a lot of kind of build-up, I want to say, to that, but it didn't feel to me at all like a wasted episode, or it didn't feel like filler. It didn't feel like stuff that we didn't need to see. I felt like everything in this episode was so well done. We had to kind of understand where the Brokejaw Ranch group is at this time, leading into the mid-season finale. If there is a conflict and Walker's group, attacks fully 100%. This was a really good one to kind of feel that sort of sense of fear and tension that the Brokejaw Ranch group has, knowing that Walker and his group are kind of, their attack is looming, and that if they don't leave, then, which they're not going to, of course, he's going to be attacking pretty soon. And, this episode was really good because for most of it, it just really felt like they weren't ready. Like, they're not really ready for an attack. We even get to see the part at the beginning where you have kind of the fires that are lit all around to kind of scare them or let them know that they're kind of, I suppose, give them the idea that they're surrounded. They're surrounded by Walker's group, and that, they kind of have to leave. It does work, I want to say, to a degree. We do have the part with, Mike, Vernon, his family, Gretchen, and they leave on their own. I really love what they're doing with this, where you have a few sections here of different groups and different things happening. So you have Walker's group on the outside that want to take the ranch, and we get a little bit about the backstory of that this isn't the first time he's tried this. He's tried to take it legally before as well, too, and lost each time. So we have that happening, but then inside of the Brokejaw Ranch, we have a few different groups here as well. You have Troy, who he's kind of like, him and his followers, so to speak, are, I want to say, a group of villains, internal to the ranch. But then you also have kind of another section there, which is of good people, including, I'd say, Jake and Jeremiah and Nicholas and the others as well there too, that really they want to defend the ranch, they want to keep the ranch, but they're not willing to go to the extent that Troy and his group are. If people don't want to fight for it, they will let them leave, versus someone like Troy, who leads more with an iron fist, so to speak, and if anybody tries to leave, he sees them as good as dead, and he will go after them, he will actually kill them. So you have a really interesting kind of mix going on here, and I really love it, where you have, obviously, villains on the outside, and then the inside, you have like these splintered groups of kind of like a pretty strong villain that's being encouraged by our lead, our Rick Grimes of Fear the Walking Dead, which is Madison. Kind of feeding him, right, getting him ready, and I really love the quote at the end of this one, where she asks him, like, are you ready? You're gonna have to save us, can you? And then he says, yes, ma'am. So she's kind of she's support feeding him, and then he's kind of doing the things he's doing, and she, even to the point in this one where we see Troy go out and kill the family that left. And then when they kind of bring the bodies back and everything, she sort of blames it all on Walker and does it in such a way, gives a pretty damn good speech that would lead everyone to believe that Walker did this, and nobody would be the wiser or think twice, except for the people in the know, which are really Jeremiah and Nicholas, that Troy was actually the one that did this. But it's probably better for everybody that she lies about it, and so they all think that it's Walker. So you don't have kind of a internal civil war going on or something happening with the group in and of itself. And it was really intense at parts too. Like, we even get to see the one scene where the family, so the three, you have Troy, Jake and Jeremiah, and they're all kind of disagreeing with each other to the point where they kind of come to blows. You have Troy and Jake that kind of go at it real quick, Troy instigating, and then you have Jeremiah who kind of hits his son. Right? He smacks him up pretty damn good. So man, it was just it was a really good pressure cooker kind of episode. I felt like that's just like, everybody is, kind of getting ready for this battle that's coming, and they know it's coming, and they're scared, and they just have this really mix of emotions. But the ones that are there that are strong know that they want to defend the place and do whatever they can to do that. And probably my favorite part of the episode, as probably is with most of you guys, is just the kind of dynamic that's going on between Madison and Troy, where she views Troy as this, I suppose, maybe the only option there for them to keep the ranch, the only option there for them to do this. And I think she might be right in that. So even though Troy is evil and Troy is, willing to kill anybody and makes no bones about it, he still is probably the person that they're going to need if they're going to beat Walker, and she knows that because she saw what Walker's capable of. She saw how smart he is, and also she saw that Troy is able to go out there and kind of, kill and do what he has to do in order to get the job done. So the way she views it is like, okay, you got Jake, you got Jeremiah. Jeremiah's probably too old for this, it looks like to me, especially the scenes with him drinking and this kind of stuff that's been going on. He just doesn't seem to me like somebody who's kind of ready for all this, and you can kind of see that with all the dissension and stuff that's happening with his sons and everybody else. But then at the same time, you have like Jake, who his choices in this episode, to me, I guess they're within character, but they don't make any sense at all. Only that, he didn't see, and Madison didn't tell him what, Walker had done to these other men. So he kind of goes off aimlessly on his own, hoping to foster some kind of peace between the groups that is pretty much guaranteed not going to happen at this point for sure. So I really like that one with, Alycia going after him, because now, of course, they've been together, so she doesn't want him to be killed, and he's pretty much marching into certain death. We'll have to see what Walker does with him, if he even lets him go, but I wouldn't be surprised if he took him captive, took him prisoner, and then maybe used him against the ranch in some kind of too far gone-ish capacity, like the governor with Herschel and Michonne, maybe something along those lines with Troy to see, or with Jake to see what the group will do, and whether or not they'll surrender to him because he has him. So, all around, I just really love the episode, and I really love all the setup and all the kind of the things that are happening between our characters and the dynamics between everybody, with Madison kind of in the middle and her family in the middle of all this kind of craziness going on around her. So we started the episode off, we got to Jeremiah and Nicholas, who have been they're doing gun training, and their relationship has kind of become like a father, surrogate son type of relationship, which is pretty cool. We've got Alycia and Jake, who again are together, and even in the end of the episode as well too, kind of together as she kind of goes after him, knowing what's going to happen. And of course, she doesn't know either that her mom, that Madison, was lying, so far as I know, right? So far as we know, she doesn't know that it was actually Troy who killed those people. She would think it would have been Walker, so she's going after Jake because she's pretty much certain from what she knows that he's going to be killed by Walker. We've got the group arriving back. We've got the horse showing up at the gate and all that. We've got the scenes with, all societies born of violence. So Luciana, who left earlier, and so the others find out about that. Madison finds out about that. We've got the gun practice scenes, Gretchen, and then, of course, Gretchen and her family leaving and being killed after. And I thought that was a pretty good scene as well, too, when you see her as a zombie and the others. Not that we knew her for too long, but it was just kind of cool how Madison hesitated to shoot her because, of course, of what happened prior, and it has to be Nicholas who does it. Mike was freaked out when he got back, and then we saw what that led to. You got Jeremiah with the booze, the fire, the signal, fire surrounded, and then we've got, so it was a warning, people. Okay, and then we got Troy. Right, Troy being pissed off that everyone's leaving. Let's see, blood in the earth. So you got kind of the red dirt thing, and it kind of goes back to the guys that started the Brokejaw Ranch, and you got him. He puts 3 bullet holes into the spot where they first, decided to put it down there, with Vernon being one of the founding members, which was cool. It kind of gave that character a little bit more weight, so that when we see him and his family, dead, it kind of you know, it means more than if it was just some random character, some random person, I suppose. Bit of backstory there was good. Alycia mentions birth control, stakes being higher. Alycia likes him, but she doesn't love him, but then still she goes after him. And then we've got, let's see, Nicholas, Madison, Jeremiah, the scene with all the family dead, and then the speech when they get back. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the episode, ending off with you have to save us. Can you? So it was a really intense episode. I really loved it. I loved all the setup. You know, definitely not an episode where you have a lot of action aside from them, you know, putting down the family of zombies and that. But just a really great setup episode with really intense, a lot of fear, and kind of, for me as a viewer, put me in a state where I didn't feel like the ranch group was ready for an attack, and I still kind of don't. I mean, you have Troy and his group internal, this militia, but then aside from that, it's not like you have people, you know, on outposts, you know, keeping, you know, watching around each night, that kind of thing, and with sniper rifles or anything like that ready to go if they attack at any given notice. I really felt like in this one that the group really was not ready for that, you know, except for Troy and his small little group that was there. So you may see something like, if they do decide to attack, you may see a few of the people at the Brokejaw Ranch be killed off, and then Troy and his group from inside start to kind of fight back against it. But it was just a really intense episode all the way through, and I really loved it a lot. I'm going to give it a 9.2 out of 10. Just really great episode, another awesome episode of Fear. And I felt like it was really, really well done, because it made us really kind of understand the dynamics between that family better. Jared, the Ottos, Jeremiah, and his sons, and also Madison and their kind of place in her family, the Clarks, their place within it, and then kind of really setting us up for what's to come soon. We do know that Jake does make it, at least to discuss with Walker, because there is the picture that they released before the season started of Jake discussing with Ophelia and Walker, maybe some kind of peace or something. But it's also interesting too, because even if he was able to get Walker to agree, Troy's not going to agree. So then it's very, you know, very interesting the way this is all kind of coming together, and the way things are. It's not going to work. So what Jake is trying to do, one way or another, with Troy and his kind of group, and him, you know, leading through strength with that group and command, you know, in Madison there as well too, you know, you got to think like there's pretty much no way this is going to be a peaceful type of situation. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode. I really did love it, even though, you know, I know you guys say, like, Trev, you just love action episodes. I love this episode. There's pretty much no action in it, but I still loved it because I thought it was really intense and some really great setup here for what's happening. Really interesting with Madison lying to everybody and all that. Really good stuff. So write your comments below. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. And if you like this review, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can also share and favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for the predictions video within an hour. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.